If I had to choose just one luxury travel credit card to keep in my wallet forever, it just might be this one, the Amex Hilton Honors Aspire card. I've had it for just over a year now, and after maximizing the benefits across trips to Tokyo, Greece, and soon the Maldives, I'm convinced this card delivers more effortless value than any other premium travel credit cards out there. The reason a card like this is more important than ever is because it seems like every month either a luxury travel credit card is getting refreshed or a brand new one is getting announced. Competition is great for consumers, but it can also make the decision of which credit card to apply for or keep open that much harder. Issuers are doing everything they can to fight for a spot in your wallet, and so I want to talk about why the Hilton Aspire card has permanently earned a spot in mine. Now, I'm not saying I'm blindly going to keep the Amex Aspire card open forever, but if the card kept its current annual fee of $550 and the same perk and benefit structure, then honestly, I would probably never consider canceling it. But given that Amex is the issuer of this card, and we know they're going gung-ho right now with card refreshes, future versions of this card could be less attractive to hold long term. However, as it stands right now, this is my favorite card in my wallet. I'm not the first, and for sure won't be the last person to mention how much they enjoy this credit card. But this card is not for everyone. Your individual travel habits and preferences will heavily dictate if you might be a good fit to hold this card, but I would argue that most people in the points and miles game could easily get positive value from this card every single year with very little effort. I think it's incredibly important to take into account a card's simplicity, as it seems like you've got to jump through more hoops than ever to come out ahead with most of these newly refreshed premium travel credit cards with ultra high annual fees. Simplicity is the name of the game for the Amex Aspire, and although some might consider it a weakness, I definitely don't by any standards, and honestly, I consider it this card's superpower. Most premium travel credit cards are trying to be a jack of all trades. Airport lounge access, transferable point currencies, and statement credits out the wazoo. While some of the cards on the market do this well, most don't. Rather than the Aspire trying to compete in this overcrowded segment of the market, the Aspire card paves its very own lane and has very little in common with most of the premium cards. The Aspire's perks and benefits are so simple and easy to understand that I can break them down in about 60 seconds. Are you ready? Let's do it. The Amex Hilton Aspire card will grant you automatic diamond status with Hilton for just being a holder of this card, which is their top level of status that has countless valuable benefits. Most famously, you will get one Hilton free net certificate every time you renew your card ownership and pay the annual fee, including your first year as a card holder, meaning about 8 weeks after you open the card, you'll have a free net certificate eligible to be redeemed at thousands of properties in the world sitting in your account. For spend with this card, you earn 14x Hilton points on Hilton purchases, 7x points at US restaurants and flights booked through Amex Travel, and 3x points on everything else. There are 3 simple statement credits with this card: a $200 semi-annual Hilton resort credit totaling $400 per year, a $50 quarterly flight credit, and a $199 Clear Plus credit every year. Lastly, there are some standard travel and insurance protections that this card offers. That's it. No coupon book, no unnecessary credits, no hoops to jump through, just plain and simple value. See? 60 seconds. That's how simple this card is. But don't mistake its simplicity for mediocrity, meaning just because this card doesn't overwhelm you with statement credits and earning categories doesn't make this card bad or underwhelming. I think Amex and Hilton made this card a killer at one specific thing, providing outsized value when it comes to Hilton stays. Now don't worry, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I can't remember the last time I stayed at a Hilton property. Hey, me either. I was the same way prior to opening this card last year, as I had never booked a Hilton stay using points, and I honestly can't tell you the last time that I paid cash for a Hilton stay either. However, holding this card has entirely shifted the way that I think about choosing which hotel I plan to book for vacations. Hyatt is my go-to brand for consistent value across the spectrum, both for budget and luxury stays. I know Hyatt will most likely have a solid selection of properties to choose from at a wide range of destinations. But for aspirational travel or trips that are of a special occasion, I almost always start my search with Hilton because of their impressive portfolio of luxury hotels. According to Hyatt, there are just about 70 luxury Hyatts across the Park Hyatt, Miraval, and Alila brands around the world. Now let's compare this to Hilton's luxury offerings. They have about 90 luxury properties across the Conrad, Waldorf Astoria, and LXR brands. Wait, that's almost the same as Hyatt. Oh, right. I forgot to mention the over 600 small luxury hotels that you can book using your points or a Hilton free night certificate. While not owned directly by Hilton, SLH and Hilton have developed a relationship to where your Hilton status will be honored at most SLH properties. Additionally, you can use your Hilton points or free night certificates to book standard award availability rooms at these boutique properties. This is a game changer when it comes to utilizing credit card points for truly aspirational or luxury travel. I'm never someone who would pay $500 a night or more out of pocket to stay at a hotel, but thanks to the Hilton Aspire card, I don't have to. My fiance and I recently stayed at a small luxury hotel in Greece thanks to the Hilton points we both earned from our welcome offers last year. The Acro Suites property in Crete was stunning. A truly wild stay considering that we didn't pay for any part of it. The daily breakfast, which we overheard one morning as costing €50 per person, was included for both of us during our 2-night stay. Most importantly, our infinity pool suite with a stunning view was booked directly using Hilton points. The nightly rate was about $800 a night during our stay, none of which we paid out of pocket. The Hilton point ecosystem oftentimes doesn't give you great value for your points or certificates when trying to book more value-oriented stays. Take, for instance, the Hampton Inn Chicago downtown. You'd need to cough up 30,000 Hilton points for a stay priced at just $120 per night after tax, a 0.4 cents per point redemption rate. Low-end properties like this oftentimes give you anywhere from 0.3 to 0.5 cents per point in value, but typically the more expensive a property is, the more value you can get from your points and certificates. This is the Conrad Tokyo, one of the nicest Hilton properties in all of Japan. Next March, you can find a 1 king bed room going for about $850 per night or 100,000 points, giving this a redemption value of 0.85 cents per point, more than double that of the Hampton Inn Chicago. You would, of course, be spending significantly more points for this hotel than the previous example, but you would also get a world-class experience when staying here, especially with diamond status. How do I know this? Well, earlier this year, my fiance and I stayed one night at the Conrad Tokyo to end off our trip to Japan. I was fortunate enough to sign up for the Aspire during a limited time promotion of getting 150,000 points plus a free night certificate as an additional part of the welcome offer. This meant 8 weeks after having opening my card, I had nearly 200,000 points to my name and 2 free night certificates in my account. One from opening the card and the other from completing the welcome offer. We of course decided to use one of these certificates at the Conrad because why not? And boy, am I glad we did, because it is by far one of the most memorable hotel stays we've ever had. Without having to ask, we were upgraded from a standard king to a king suite Bayview, which retails for about $1,200 per night. This is all thanks to the diamond status this card provides, as without it, I don't think there is a chance we would have been given this upgrade. Additionally, the Conrad has a fantastic executive lounge accessible to diamond members. The lounge had incredibly helpful and hospitable staff, as well as some small bites and free drinks. Lastly, we both indulged in the free breakfast benefit diamond status offers, which of course I used to order some sort of lobster egg dish just because I could. A theme I think you're starting to see is that the Hilton Aspire card paired with aspirational stays elevates things to a whole nother level. The goal, at least for me, of the points and miles game is to experience things that I would never pay out of pocket for. It's great if you get to stay in a luxury hotel, but having to fork out $100 per day for breakfast would definitely dampen the mood. That's why having the Aspire card and being granted diamond status is, in my opinion, the true best feature of this card. It's worth diving into diamond status a bit more and why it's so impressive that the Aspire card offers it in the first place. I've been making a big deal about the fact that you get diamond status from just being a holder of the card. The reason for this is that none of the other big hotel chains will grant you their top level of hotel status if you are a holder of their most premium credit card. Take, for example, Marriott. The $650 Amex Bonvoy Brilliant card will grant you Platinum Elite status as a holder. This is Marriott's middle tier status. It does allow for late checkout, early check-in, free breakfast, and supposed room upgrades, as it's well known that Marriott is oftentimes pretty stingy when it comes to handing out room upgrades to Platinum Elites. The same is true for Hyatt's credit card offerings. If you open the World of Hyatt personal card, you will earn Discover status. or second lowest level of status. You get free bottled water, Wi-Fi, late checkout, and that's about it. Diamond status, on the other hand, gets you the following perks: late checkout, 5th night free on award stays, free internet, free breakfast for 2, executive lounge access, and room upgrades, including suites that actually get awarded to you. I will make the important note that because the Aspire card is issued in the United States, there will be more Hilton Diamond members here in the US than probably anywhere else in the world, meaning you might not get a ton of room upgrades if you're staying primarily at Hilton properties in the US due to the concentration of Diamond Elite members here. But I can confirm that the Diamond status recognition abroad is fantastic. The Conrad Tokyo wasn't the only Hilton property my fiance and I stayed at during our trip. We also made a quick one-night pit stop at the LXR Roku Kyoto. This was a last-minute decision as I realized one of my 3-night certificates was expiring soon, and the Roku Kyoto still had standard award availability during our stay. I keep mentioning standard availability, so it's worth clarifying what exactly I mean by that. Each Hilton property allocates a certain number of rooms to be booked using points or certificates. This is called standard award availability. It varies extensively by each property, but these rooms will always give you the best value for your points. As once standard availability runs out, the hotel will still let you book a room using points, but often at an incredibly inflated number of points. A great example of this can be seen when trying to book an overwater villa at the Maledhu property in the Maldives. If there is standard award availability, you can book an overwater villa for 170,000 points per night, or use one of your free night certificates for a room that has a value of at least $2,000 per night. If there's no standard award availability, they'll want you to pay an absurd number of points for the same room, and you're not allowed to use your certificate for this particular redemption. This might make the Hilton ecosystem a little less appealing if you don't have experience booking with it, because it just seems like more hoops to jump through. But as someone who's booked this exact property myself for 6 nights next year, as long as you book about 12 months in advance or have alerts set up for availability, it's very possible to book just about any Hilton property in the world for standard award availability. Okay, back to our Roku Kyoto stay. Just a few days prior to check-in, I used a certificate to book one night in their standard king bed room. Upon check-in, we were delighted to hear that we had been upgraded to their king bed onsen room, a jump in nightly rate from about $600 to $850. The main selling point of this room is that you get your own private onsen bath right in your bathroom, which if you didn't know what it was, like me before the stay, it is water being pumped directly from a hot spring straight into the bathtub. Unfortunately, this hotel didn't have an executive lounge, and we had to depart the hotel before breakfast opened the next morning to catch our train. Regardless, this property is another amazing example of an experience that would have been out of reach if it were not for the Hilton Aspire card and the Hilton Point ecosystem as a whole. I doubt that there will ever be a single premium credit card that I could widely recommend as a long-term keeper, but for me, the Hilton Aspire card has proven its worth multiple times over in the last year of ownership. I have a few upcoming reservations that I'm really excited for, but knowing I'll have diamond status for all of these stays just builds so much more excitement for these trips. I don't travel enough nights in a year to organically earn the top level status with any hotel, and so being able to pay an annual fee of $550 in order to experience what it's like to be a true elite member of a brand is, in my opinion, well worth it. If I ever take a prolonged break from staying at aspirational or luxury hotels, then I could foresee myself canceling this card, but I don't have any plans for that anytime soon, and given how easy it is to use the few statement credits this card has, just gives me even more reasons to keep it open. There isn't much to talk about in terms of statement credits, as this card has just 3: the previously mentioned resort credit, travel credit, and clear credit. Being honest, the resort credit can be pretty difficult to use, as you only get $200 every 6 months, and you must use it at a resort designated property. There are only about 300 or so of these in the world, representing just about 5% of Hilton's total portfolio, meaning unless you're going out of your way to stay at a resort categorized hotel, there's a good chance you won't organically use this credit. A pro tip though is to use the link in the description to see if there is a resort property in a destination you want to go to. Most of them them are scattered around the US and some in Mexico, but there is a heavy concentration of them in Las Vegas. So if you're already planning on going to Vegas, you can knock off $200 off your stay if you book at one of these resorts. The $50 quarterly flight credit is much easier to use, as you just need to charge your card directly with an airline to trigger it. If you don't have any upcoming flights to book or bags to pay for, seats to upgrade, you can always use the classic trick of adding $50 to your United mileage bank balance. A few days after the transaction, you should get the statement credit and you'll have $50 worth of credit to put towards a United flight in the future, and you can do this 4 times a year. Lastly, the $200 Clear Plus credit doesn't hurt to use. I know it's not the most valuable thing. Personally, I'm unable to take advantage of this credit on my Aspire card as I'm already using the Clear Plus credit on my Amex Platinum, but I have found that at some airpoints the Clear line can be like a little bit faster than the pre-check, but it's nothing revolutionary. You might as well get a membership with Clear, as if you already have this card, they're just handing it out for free. If this isn't your first time hearing about the Amex Aspire card, then you'll know all about the free night certificates. But I want to point out that you can earn up to 3 certificates per year. One for paying the annual fee, and you can unlock 2 more via spend. One certificate at $30,000 of spend in a calendar year, and another at $60,000 of spend in the same calendar year. It might be worth it to run the math on spending $30K for a certificate, because you'd be guaranteed at least 90,000 points plus a certificate that could be worth at least, and I mean at least, a few $100s. Puts to good use, in my opinion, the points and certificate alone could be worth around $1,500, giving you a 5% return on general catch-all spend with this card, if you can think you can hit the 30K mark in spend. That's just how I value the 30K spend, so it's definitely worth it for you to run your own numbers. I wanted to talk about the welcome bonus on this card at the end, which I know is quite unusual, and that's because I truly didn't want that to be the main driving factor of why someone might consider opening this card. As it currently stands, the welcome offer is 170,000 Hilton points after spending 6,000 in the first 6 months of card ownership. It might be a little controversial to say, but I value Hilton points closer to 1 cent per point, as personally that's been my historical redemption rate thus far. But the true value of this welcome offer is probably closer to around $1,000. By no means is it a knock your socks off type sign-up bonus, but it should be good for at least 1 to 2 nights of standard award availability at most of Hilton's luxury hotel offerings around the world. If you're not in a hurry to get this card, then you might be in a pretty advantageous position, as you could see if Amex runs their limited time welcome offer of giving you a free night certificate as well as a stash of points, as that is by far the most valuable welcome offer this card has ever had. It's quite refreshing to have a card like the Amex Aspire in my wallet. The diamond status ensures I'll be treated like royalty at all Hilton properties, and the free night certificate has allowed me to unlock once in a lifetime experiences more than once in a life. I think this card with an annual fee of $550 is a steal if you're someone who likes to extract as much value from the points and miles game as I do. I would personally love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this card if you currently hold it or are considering opening it, as I haven't talked to many people who have this card and don't like it. I'll leave my referral link to this card down below, which greatly helps support the channel and my content if you decide to end up using it. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and of course, I'll catch you on the next one.